So it's critical and very important that you get the awareness happen, because by doing so, you will be known. And the first thing that we need, it's being known, right? And here there's so many possibilities, because you can partner with other fitness influencers. You can do your own content creation, educating about the benefits of the flavor of the salted caramel, so on and so forth. So here's a plethora of strategies that can be thought very carefully in this particular category. And I'm sure that all categories play in the same kind of arena, competing not only with the direct competitors, but with different people, different products that capture people's attention. So we are fighting for people's attention. And by using those tips, those techniques, is the way that we will actually have a chance to create our niche, our community, and be heard. And remember, this is just the marketing 101. It's just way easier to sell to a repetitive customer than bring a new customer. It's way cheaper. So by creating your community, to keep selling to your people, you are actually not lowering your cost of acquisition, but also increasing your margin by doing that. Just for the sake of time, if there is any other questions regarding the exercise, or you want to comment something, please do it now, because if not, we're jumping to B2B. Sorry, to a brief part on analytics, based on what Carlos mentioned, is the perfect segue, but then we jump to the B2B part of the course. If there is any question or any comment, please just say it now.
I would like for you to clarify the KPIs.
Okay, KPI is a key performance indicator, right? It's basically a number, a metric that gives you the sense that you are doing things right. I'm going to give you an example. So imagine you have a company and you're using Instagram. So a good key performance indicator for that particular platform is that I want to reach 1,000 people with my post. That will be the KPI, the 1,000 people. So every time you are below or above, you either hitting your KPI or missing your KPI. If you're missing your KPI, you have to ask yourself, why are you missing that particular KPI? So it takes a lot of thinking on, okay, is it the content? Is it my niche? Is it the picture that I'm posting? Is it the education is not very well understood? Or if you are hitting the KPI, then you need to start thinking, okay, so what's my next KPI? How do I increase this number? Because I'm doing things right, because just being consistent on educating my community, the algorithm is helping me to reach a bigger audience, just reaching more than 1,000 people, because people are engaging with my content because I'm educating these people. So because I'm educating them, they give me a like, they give me a heart, they share my content, or they comment on my account, so forth, so on. So that will be a particular KPI. Then you have sales KPIs. A sales KPI is just around how many sales in volume. So I need to sell 100 candles a month, but just a simple example. Okay, that will be volume KPI, but then you need to have a profitable KPI. So I need to sell, I don't know, $20,000 a month with an extraction margin of, I don't know, 40%. So then you are creating those metrics for you to measure the health of your business. And if you are hitting those targets, it's time to start thinking, okay, how do I increase my KPIs, make them harder for me to reach them? So that,
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone
Can
else?
I share something? Can I make a comment?
Yes.
What I realized about this course, and even the incubator course that I'm in, you guys are expanding the way we think, the way we feel, the way we write, the way we target our customers. And I appreciate that, because not only are you having me to look at other businesses and how they operate, but then it has me to reflect back on my business on what I need to do strategically. So thank you guys.
No, thank you, because you just hit it in two words that are so deep into me, and I think that you hit them perfectly. and one was reflect, and then the self-awareness, right? Those two words will guide you as an entrepreneur. If you're not able to be self-aware of your brand, of what you're writing, what are you writing, for whom are you writing, it's not necessarily all about you, but you need to be aware that it's not about you, it's about your customers, what they want. Because perhaps you want to write something, but your audience don't want that. They want something different. So be self-aware and very humble about understanding that it's not about you, it's about them. It's critical in this. And thank you for bringing that up. I think was Ghislaine? Yes,
Yes,
Ghislaine.
yes.
Beautiful. And the other part is the reflection part. To be self-aware requires to be reflective. And the reflection part in the day-to-day and all the hesitant lives and all the things that you guys need to have to do, it's very, very complicated. But saving time to reflect on your day and what you have done in all those tasks is so critical, because the knowledge, the aha moment will come from those reflections, from seeing yourself, seeing your business, comparing your business, and taking the time to understand what's happening. It will make the difference, because if we only play in a very automated mode, doing, and just getting things out of my desk, just getting things out of my email, just getting things out about the orders that I have, and not taking the time just to think through and reflect at least for 15 minutes, 20 minutes each day, you guys will keep doing the same things. And if you're making mistakes, you will continue making those mistakes. So that's why those two things are critical and very important for you to start thinking about. Thank you. I really appreciate those two comments, Ghislaine, because they were spot on. Anyone else?
You're welcome.
Got it. So we're moving. So I'm just going to show you real quickly, because you guys will have a model for analytics. But again, in order to review my KPIs, to understand what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, I need to understand the analytics. Analytics is basically the data behind the analysis of data. The analysis of data can come from everywhere. You guys are producing a footprint of digital in bits. So everything that you are doing on the digital realm, you just produce data. You need to review it, not be a master, and don't get overwhelmed about all the data, the numbers. I don't like math and blah, blah. No, don't focus on that. Just focus on the key numbers, the key KPIs that actually have a meaning. So I'm gonna tell you, I'll talk to you real quickly. And show you, this is just my YouTube channel, right? So I just recently opened it, but I'm going to show you one of the platforms. So if you get in, hold on. So every channel in YouTube, once you start creating content, and again, I don't have that much videos yet. I have a few. Again, you hear my purpose for this content creation. It's be monetizable and create an audience, and then try to sell them my products that I will create later on trading. But right now, this is just to create an audience and tell them about what's going on in the economics of the world, the US, and so on. If I go here and go to YouTube Studio, it will take me to the analytics side. So remember, I need to reach 2,000 subscribers and more than 4,000 watch hours. So I definitely need to monitor, because those are my KPIs. I don't focus on anything else, perhaps a little bit on watch time, on engagement and comments, and I can see what's happening on every of my videos. But then I start checking, okay, how many views? I have 10,000 views. I have a watch time of 2.7 hours. I need 1,300 more hours to be monetized, and I have more than 1,000 subscribers. This is in the last 28 days, but let me go back, because I have more than 28 days with the channel. So let's see what I have. Oh, okay, just even better. I have 58,000 views, 3.2 watch time hours, which is very close. So I'm missing by 800, sorry, and I have 2,000 plus subscribers. So I hit one of my targets. In my timeline, I already have in my mind that I need to reach monetization by month 3. So I have another month to reach monetization. And I'm producing my content right here. Every week I'm posting. I started with 5 videos. Now I slowed it down a little bit. I'm posting 2 to 3 videos a week. But this is my analytics right now in this piece of platform, which is important for me to track because I have already a goal. This is only YouTube. I think Sunday has a question.
Yes, is that the YouTube paid side? You know how
What
they
you mean?
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, what you mean by the pay side?
Because I got this, I'm new to this. So I set up a YouTube and then YouTube sent me some, I'm sorry, when I say pay side, is that a subscription? Do you pay for that?
No,
Okay.
I don't pay. So this is a channel that I created. I produce the content. I upload the content in this channel under the name of Capitalista, which is my brand. And my purpose with this channel is educate an audience on economics. Very, it's kind of dramatic economics because if you see my titles and everything, is just to call people's attention. Is, as an example, Jim Rickards, Russian China's strategy to crumble the U.S. economy. Very dramatic, very exaggerated on things, because that catch attention and that give me the views that I need, that I want. My purpose is for you to for YouTube to start paying me to put advertising on my channel. But that's so far everything has been free. The production of the content is costs because I outsource the content production. I don't do it. And this is not obviously something that I recommend to any of you. This is just for me to explain you how to use or how to see the analytics side of things. And if you were the class before, when I explained what are my objectives, I mentioned that because I needed to get YouTube to pay me, I needed to hit the 2,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours. So that's why I'm showing you this. Got it?
Yes, thank you.
No, please. And the other thing that I want to show you is, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to start sharing some other, give me a second. Okay, most of you have heard of Google Analytics. And Google Analytics is just basically a product, Google's product that you implement in your website. Why is so important? Because one of the things that we discussed in last session was that we don't want to depend 100% on others' platforms. We want to have something that is from our own. So usually you use Google Analytics for your website to measure what's happening in your website. So if you sell online, if you show your product on your website, if you have a catalog, sorry, if you have a booking system through your website just to get your booking for your hairdresser or your nails or whatever, you need to have measurement and to analyze measurement. So Google Analytics, and this is the Google Analytics of my salon here in Miami. So basically what it tells you, and this very deep understanding, so I'm just gonna show you a few things, a few numbers, just for you to understand how important is a KPI. So what it says is, it gives you insights of the people that are coming to your website, right? And this is very low, but I can tell that people, where they're coming from to my website, which countries, and how they are reaching my website, right? Most of them are coming through organic search. Some of them already know my brand and they are coming directly. Some of them are coming by organic social, our posts, and then referrals. And this is the type of products and the pages that are arriving. They're interested in balayage, they're interested in color, in services. So why this is important, why am I showing you this? Because it goes back to what we discussed last time, is we need to understand what are we doing with our platforms and the type of organic traffic that they are driving to our destination. So we can start tweaking, fine-tuning, and do more or less if what we're doing is actually having some success in our business. So this is very important, and you will have a model based on Google Analytics, but I just wanted to show you why it's important just for you to connect what you are doing in all other platforms to your website and to your Google Analytics. Just gonna jump back. So there's another one that I want to show you real quickly, which is the Google. Do you guys still see my screen?
We can see it now.
Okay, the Google Business, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure how many of you are using Google Business, but Google Business is critical for two things. If you have a retail store, meaning you have a store in the street where you sell your products to the customers, it's very important for you to have your Google Business. Google Business is basically the ability for you to implement in Google all the information as a retailer or as a store. Google will verify that you actually own that particular store, but you will be able to create promotions, the ability for you to have online reservation. You will have, in this case, is a salon. You will be able to put your map, the pictures that you are taking for your of your customers or whatever you're doing, the type of products that you are using or selling, and also you will be leaving all the comments and yes, all the comments and the stars that ratings, sorry, that the customers are leaving. Why that is important? Because when customers are leaving all that pieces of information, Google start recommending you and giving you a better positioning amongst other retail stores. So you will be indexing in a better place, and every time people is looking for balayage or color or salon, perhaps in that particular area where I'm located, Google usually will recommend my place than other places because I'm using all their tools and the feedback that I'm gathering from the customer is positive. So I can use a lot of these tools and techniques of this platform provides to maximize the organic traffic, again, not only to my website, but also to my store. Does that make sense? Is any of one of you using Google Business right now? No.
Just started.
What was the question? Sorry.
If any of you are using Google Business.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and how's your experience with them?
I love it because exactly what you're saying. At first, I didn't know what the analytics was, but I would get the emails because they send you emails to guide you on what you need to do to keep yourself up to date and for customers to be able to find you. So like you mentioned, after I started understanding the KPIs, you would see from the women and men, the ratings of who comes in more. It shows you the time that you're very busy. It has where you can add your website, their booking site, how they can call or text you via text instead of emailing or calling. Also, like you said, the reviews based on what they write, those are the keywords that when people are searching, they find you. So when I ask, oh, how did you find me? Oh, Google, based on your reviews, you know, I was able to come. And they could be coming from Homestead or probably Broward, but they would still say, you know what, let me give her a chance because of the reviews that I received.
Yeah, it's great. If you have a store, I very highly recommend using that. I'm going to skip, and this you will have the presentation, but this is just a video on how to get the data from Instagram and start reviewing what's an engagement, what type of people is viewing your content, and all of that. So just for sake of time, I'm just going to jump it, but you guys will be able to review it. Just a few things. We're finishing the first session. You will have the tools, tips, and resources, a link where you find almost everything that you need for this the creation of your platform and the implementation of your content strategy for shared media is here. Everything is linked, all the calendars, the resources, the Excels, everything, calculators, everything is in this center of content. So you will have it. The quiz was responded the previous week, but now we're moving towards business to business, right? So let's go and start with the business to business and shared media. And we're just gonna jump into a small poll. Alexis, are you sharing the poll?
We'll share it now.
Okay, cool. Please fill it up as fast as possible.
Okay, you all, the poll should be on your screen.
Got it. I think we have it. So we have 75% think that LinkedIn is the preferred media for marketers. And 25% think Instagram. No one selected Facebook. And let's see the results. So basically, this is the results in the business to business marketers. Again, this is the same survey that I took or that I showed you in the previous session. But it tells you which are the channels that are most preferred by B2B marketers and by B2C marketers. In this case of B2B, Facebook, surprisingly, is the one that is the most preferred. And I'm obviously asking myself why this is, and the only answer that I can get is first is one of the first social media platforms. So you had the biggest audience is in Facebook. So Facebook is already like 2 billion people, more than any other platform. So I guess it benefits from the generations that started in social media, which is probably me or a little bit older than me, that started with the Facebook and are been in Facebook for the past 15 years. So now they have, or they own companies, and the B2B marketers cater to those type of consumers. That's an assumption. I don't know exactly why, but I guess that it goes towards the capacity and the population that is in Facebook, which is bigger than any other. So you find there all the people that you find in LinkedIn is already on Facebook. So they're using Facebook, and perhaps Facebook is cheaper in terms of using ads to cater B2B. Then you have LinkedIn, obviously, and then Instagram. LinkedIn, by the ones that are not familiar with LinkedIn, it's a professional network. Why is professional? Because it's created with the main purpose of connecting professionals across the world. So to actually be a member or to sign in, you need to fill up your personal profile. Your personal profile gets relevance by being very detailed at completing that profile. So more that you complete your profile and have it updated and have it fully deployed, better you will rank and more appearance you will have to others looking after you. That's on the professional side of LinkedIn. Then LinkedIn particularly have a way to connect with certain individuals depending or based on their professional position in the org chart of a particular company, just to connect to them and actually create business with them. So we're gonna review that in a little. But what's the most important part of business to business? And I'm sure that all of you know what business to business is, so I'm not gonna stop there. But in business to business is the most difficult part is understanding who is your actual buyer. Understanding who is really buying from you. Why? Because in the process, when you are selling to a company, usually, and depending on how big the company it is, you will have many people involved in the process. And it can be as much as complexity. If you ever work with the government entities, you know how hard it is, because you have procurement, you have then the lobbyists, you have then the majors, you have then so many people involved within the process that actually, first, the cycle of the sale is way longer than in B2C. It can take up to from a week to 6 months to a year into close, depending on the ticket of the product or service you're selling. But the complexity is because in the process of selling in business to business, there are many people involved, and every people have their emotions, their preference, the likes and the dislikes. And aligning all of those emotions and usually incentives is the most complicated part in the process, and something that you need to carefully do, carefully understand, and actually be very smart, intelligent, and strategic on how to craft your story, and how do you tell your story, and how do you use the platforms to tell your story so you can tailor your communication to all those people that are involved in this process. So here's an example, and the image is just for me to tell you everyone that is people that influence, there's people that evaluate, there's people that they don't want your product or service because perhaps they might get out of a job. There's the champion, the one that loves your product, that doesn't have very much influence in the decision. Then you have the real user of your product. Then you have the real decision maker, the one that is actually signing the check. You have the executive sponsor, you have so many people. And we're gonna move forward just to understand something. The first thing you need to be aware of is what's your path towards the sale. And I'm not sure how many in the previous in the session of the workrooms, I met someone that actually have a B2B company, and I'm going to talk to her later. But she can tell us, and that probably she can talk in this part and give us a little bit of a reference in her world. How many people does she needs to talk to in order to close a deal? Again, if she still is in the call, will be great if she can talk a little bit about her experience on how many people she needs to talk to close a deal.
Oh, yes. Good morning, everyone. Indeed, it is a process that is decided by the engineers, by the IT area, but we have to talk to several people before we come into a board for them to make a decision to purchase a product. So our projects like video conference rooms can go from the need of the C-level or from the need from the managers up to the engineer in the company or the general manager to decide, yes, we want to build a conference room with all the specifications that might required. My name is Sandra Diaz. I am a co-founder for Smart Network Solutions. We were born in 2002 in LATAM, in Miami, but we have been doing business with LATAM, mainly with the universities and hospitals. And now we are moving to the USA to do the same. We are also trying to work with projects with the government. We are a startup in the USA, even though we are old as a company. We just started our businesses in the US a year ago.
Thank you, Sandra, so much for accepting my calling to talk to us. So
Thank you.
You see how difficult it is. So again, she needs to sell the product / services, which is a technology product services to implement conference rooms. So the need comes from the CEO, but the CEO is not the one saying just work with them. The CEO has a need. So there's a problem identification. But then the CEO tells probably the procurement or the IT guy, please find me a good provider. I want my room with the best quality conference capability. And they usually, IT and procurement will look for the cheapest, and IT will look for the best technology ever. So you need to satisfy those two. So you need to understand those two. They will explore multiple solutions, multiple vendors. They will create the list of requirements, and Sandra will create the best proposal for each of them. Usually it's the same proposal, but maybe it's tailored with different type of storytelling to each of them. For the IT people, she will tell them that she had the best technology is ever there, right? She can implement it fastest in the market with the best service and past service in the industry. And then when she turns into procurement, she will tell them you will have, this is the best price possible. You will get also 2 years of warranty. You will get full time, full life services of implementations, blah, 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 blah. So while she's doing everything of this, there are multiple competitors doing the same, probably talking to all of them. What's the key in this scenario is that she needs to know and understand all the people that are involved in the transaction. And she needs to tell the story that matters to each of them. And unfortunately, it's not the same story. Perhaps it's the same output, but not the same story. So one of the things that you need to know, and this is just a basic, very basic, but you need to, you need to know who's the decision maker. Usually, depending on the size of the business that you are targeting, is usually a CEO, a CFO, a VP of a unit. He will do the final budget approval. He will say, yes, go ahead. Then you have the decision influencer, the one that is leading a department and buying from you. Could be procurement. Sometimes procurement are that particular department that needs to buy everything from everyone at the cheapest, just lowest price possible. They be very influential in the decision. Then is the person with the real need and the real problem. Usually, the people with the problem can also be the CFO, CEO, or the ultimate decision maker. If that's true, that's something you need to find out first. Because if that's true, it makes everything more easy. Because you need to just talk to him in very approach with storytelling to solve his problem, because he will decide and he's the person with the problem. So you get two things very simple with the same person. But if it's not, you need to know that it's not. And then you have the supporters and the detractors, people that like your technology or a friend that actually introduces you to the company that will help you to move the needle. By mapping all those people in this journey of the sale will give you very much of an advantage, because you will know a lot about each individual and you will be able to create the right story for each of them. At the end of the day, what you want when you use any of the platforms is be able to communicate consistently to all of them. Consistently to all of them, but actually with a very individual story. And I'm going to tell you an example in a little bit. When we talk about business to business, I definitely think LinkedIn is the way to go, only if the people and the companies that you are targeting to are in LinkedIn. If they are not, there is no need to use LinkedIn. And what I know in recent studies, what I learned is that not every business is on LinkedIn. So sometimes, depending on the size of the business, will be easier to reach those business through LinkedIn or to a different media, or using Instagram or using Facebook. But LinkedIn is mainly used by mid and big corporations because they have professionals that are there. So that company always opens a profile to be there, to connect with their employees, to send messages to the market, to their industry, so forth and so on. So I'm going to tell you two stories, right? One is my personal LinkedIn. So again, you as an owner, you're a brand. You as a person and as a professional are a brand in itself. Doesn't matter if you also work for another company or you own your company. you as a person need to work on your brand. And it's pretty much what I do. So as an example, this is, if you get a chance to get into my LinkedIn, you will see that I have pretty much filled it up all my LinkedIn. Why? Because LinkedIn prioritizes, as I mentioned, the detail that you put in to rank you and to show you to other people. Because I publish a lot in LinkedIn, I get the algorithm always award me with reach, with a lot of views, and I get people talking to my posts and everything, because that's what obviously helps me to find customers, to find people to hire, to find new business opportunities. Sorry, as you can tell, I have more than 6,000, almost 7,000 people that follows me on LinkedIn, all professionals. So my network and my access to multiple companies is quite nice and quite important. And this allows me to actually target potential customers, because if I want to target Nike and start selling Nike some sort of a product for marketing and digital analytics, I'm sure that I can find people that are in my network, that are friends of mine that are already working at Nike. And they can connect me to someone in the procurement department to start getting invitations to the RFIs that they do every 2 years. That's an example. And why this is important? Because I became a voice in LinkedIn, because I constantly talk about marketing, about things that matters to me. I write on my blog and I post it there. I comment on people and start all this type of content creation using that platform. Just because my end goal is to have a very powerful network that will allow me to introduce me to the right company that I want either work for or sell something to. In the other side, in the right side, this is the company that I just joined a few months ago. This is the company profile, and it works very similar to the personal profile, in which in order for you to get the best ranking possible, you need to actually complete with the very accurate data all your profile. How many employees do you have? What's your industry? What do you do? Your links, your contact, everything. Because then LinkedIn will, the algorithm will value that you are just telling a lot to the audience. But not only that, what is important is because it's your company, is your brand that you are putting there into the market with a bunch of competitors that are doing the same. You need to create content. And let's connect this word content with what we'll learn in the first session, because what we'll learn in the first session applies to business. The only difference is that we have now another platform that is basically just to create relationships with other companies and other professionals. And that using all the steps that we discussed in the previous session, which is identify my niche, using my vision, knowing what media, so forth and so on, you will start creating content for an industry. And here's also works the same principle of the funnel. You need to be known in the industry. So in this case, Directly is an analytics ad tech company. We do marketing and we do technology, and we implement cloud and data to do machine learning on behalf of clients, right? So that's what we're selling. What we need to do is first, we're small, we're based in Miami, Florida, US based, focused very much in the US and some part of LATAM. But what we need to start creating is our content that tells the story for the people that we want to target. In our case, it's mainly marketing. So we create content related to the latest trends on marketing and digital marketing. But for them to hire us, not only will need the marketing's approval, usually it needs IT's approval, or IT and marketing needs to be involved because we implement cloud systems. And cloud products is a property that actually falls into usually the realm of IT. So if I'm going to sell to marketing people, but I know that the cloud part of my service always will have involved the IT team. I also need to be telling my story to the IT. And usually, as I said, it's the same output, but it's kind of different stories, tweak it different. Because on marketing, I will tell them all the growth that by using my services will bring to them. To IT, I will tell them that by using me, they will have a reliable, very protected and secure cloud system that will allow us just to avoid redundancy, that will be very much automated. It's a completely different story. Because I know my two groups. They usually have the ability to decide on if they hire me or not. They don't need to go to the CEO, but that's in my particular industry. But for me to do that, I need to have a very good LinkedIn profile where I actually post in my industry, white papers, videos, links, and all of the content to create and to call the attention of the audience so I can create leads. I can remember 60, 30, 10. 60, create a brand awareness. I'm going to talk about a topic, a subject at a very wider scheme. Why moving to cloud matters. In my 30 content, the consideration is why directly can help you improve your automation and your digital transformation. And in the 10, the lower funnel is how we can implement Google Analytics for enterprise in a month before Google shuts down the previous version. Very to the core, telling we are the ones, we can do it in this amount of time and with this capability and with these resources. Just very straightforward to close the sale. It works exactly the same here. So I'm going to stop for a second to see if anyone has a questions in this part of LinkedIn. If anyone is using LinkedIn, please give me your comments. It will be very good to know and kind of guide some of the conversation that we're having.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, please, your name?
I'm sorry, my name is Travis Dozier of T Dozier Consulting. My company, I'm the CEO and founder. I do academic and career life coaching, and I do diversity, equity, inclusion training for companies that are actually making systemic changes within their organizations.
Beautiful,
I use
huh?
LinkedIn a lot, and at times I think I need to update it a little more and do some more publishing, and I'm glad that you talked more about that. But a lot of my clients come through LinkedIn from word of mouth. So taking this for these 2 weeks, going to these courses, it's pretty much showing me that I can level up a little more. And I just want to say thank you.
No, first of all, thank you for doing what you're doing. I think that it's just through companies like yours that help others companies just to become aware and be more equitable. So thank you. Again, man, you got it. You know what you have to do. It's you're consulting. So your job is just to tell others where's the scarcity and to teach them how to avoid that. So you have a massive possibilities through LinkedIn. I guess the hard part that obviously is in your hands is just the content production, right? Because it's not easy, takes time. And I know that you're with your hands all full. I have a few ideas, probably in our consulting session, we can discuss them on how you can outsource some of that content, or if you do it yourself, how to make it just easier for just to kind of just quick content releases, nothing so depth that takes too much of your time. Because I know that the first barrier on LinkedIn is just creating very quality content, because again, you here are competing with the McKinseys, with the Deloittes, with all of those guys that have huge teams creating content. And I know that kind of the unfair advantage they have. The idea here again is being very smart, knowing that we're bootstrapping and identifying our niche. By identifying our niche and knowing who we're targeting to, we will be very smart on their content creation part of things, and we will be able to scale the production of the content and very much drive the leads that happen from it. So thank you, Travis, for talking and mentioning what you do and helping me with the session. Anyone else?
Yes, Eric, good morning again. When you were talking about your profile in LinkedIn, I went to my profile and never looked into it. And I found out that I have 24,887 followers. And I never, and I don't know how to, I don't know how to create things that matter to the business. I got a lot of content, I get content that I like and I post it. And actually, when I was looking now, like here it says how many impressions, 10,005, 075. So it's not bad, but I'm not creating the right content to leverage the company business. You know what I'm trying to say? Even though I have the followers, I never create the content that brings customers in. I just create content that is seen and people like and perhaps follow, and that's it, but not
Got it. But
something for.
hear me out on this. My mother used to say, you are sitting in a golf bench. I don't know if it's have a meaning to you, that you're sitting in something that is very valuable and you're not using it as you should. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So having all these people is your audience that perhaps not necessarily you're having a relationship with them. If you're only reposting from others' content, you are not building the content that they might want to hear or listen or read. So you as a founder has so much to tell. You have to tell more about your experience as a founder, why you are solving so many problems within the industry. You are actually in a very important time for the workplace and the whole industry, which is the remote hybrid discussion. You have so much to say about that just because you are trying to solve a specific problem from a bigger problem that we are suffering as a society. But all the things that I'm just telling you right now is for you to start reflecting on, okay, Sandra, what's my voice? What do I need to tell to these 20,000 people that are actually follow me for some reason and that they want to hear from me, and how that I can help and have a voice as a person, but as a CEO and founder, that I'm the right person to tell them why having a good conference room makes a better experience for employees, either within the office or remote. So all those things that I'm just coming up on my mind are the things that I suggest you and ask you to start thinking on, okay, what's Sandra's voice and what's her responsibility to talk about to her audience, because they are waiting for you to tell them.
So
So
Eric,
you need to,
sorry,
yes.
I thought you was done. Go ahead, finish.
No. I just want to know if Sandra had an opinion about it or something that I said is crazy or.
No,
makes
you are
sense
so right. Thank you so much, Eric. I never look into these facts. I just looked today because you were mentioning it, and I went to my LinkedIn profile and I found out that, yeah, I might have some responsibility to tell people, and the thing is how to do it.
Yeah, and goes back, sorry, and goes back to the content creation. Is first thing is your profile. So it's about Sandra and the responsibility that Sandra has with her audience and with society, because she created a service and built a product that solved a problem that actually becomes a society problem. We don't want to be at work. And there are the bosses that said you have to be at the office. So that's a problem. You are tackling a niche of that problem. So there's so much content that you can create and have your own voice and benefit your company just by talking to your audience on those themes that are very important. Sorry, Ghislaine.
So I have LinkedIn since 2012, I want to say, probably earlier than that. But I never knew how to actually use the LinkedIn. So I have the page created. And is it similar to like having Facebook or an Instagram? You just telling a story, you posting pictures of what you do. Like, how do I attract as a hairstylist or wig maker, or my sister who's a massage therapist? How is it that we attract?
So let me, in your case, your business, because I remember our conversation a while ago, your
Mhm.
business is business to consumer, right?
Yes.
You are taking care of your people.
Mhm.
So all the content that you are creating not necessarily is tailored for LinkedIn at
Okay,
this point.
gotcha.
Why? Because you are using already Instagram, you're using TikTok and all those
Mhm.
other social media platforms
Got
that
it.
are actually targeting those. On the
Okay.
other hand, if you want to, in 2 years from now or a year from now, grow and create a service that is targeting companies, let's think of massages at offices, like
Okay.
or whatever package for HR teams and departments
Got
that you
it.
want to give,
Okay.
then you can create the whole story of your product for
Mhm.
LinkedIn, because you are targeting HR departments that want to provide massages every Friday to their employees.
Makes sense.
Some weird stuff, okay? But at
Okay.
this point, I don't suggest you to move toward LinkedIn right
Yeah,
now.
because when I have had it and I noticed like it was more towards like lawyers and stuff of that nature. And I was like, why would I need LinkedIn? So it was created, but I didn't really use it. So I'm like, do I even need it? But I got you. I totally understand now. Because the
Yeah,
next
good
question
stuff.
is going to be, how do I properly, create content? But I'm glad you answered the question.
Great.
Eric,
Alec,
yes.
yeah, I
We
know,
have
I always
2
run out
minutes
of time.
left. This has
I'm so
been really
bad.
great. We're gonna
This was good.
thank you. We're gonna
But
take the question from Alexis. He's had his hand up for a minute, and then we have to wrap, you guys.
All right.
I'm so bad with time. Apologies, guys, because I have like
It's
another
okay.
four slides. But this is just I'm very passionate, so I want to answer every doubt you guys have. Please.
So, Eric, quickly here. I do have LinkedIn for both my personal profile and my business. I have not been active there. And I find it like, I wasn't really sure whether to talk or post on LinkedIn with my personal profile or with my company profile, and what type of content I could do, like to reach, like some of my shirts are worn by like restaurant as uniforms and hotels. I just recently sold shirts to a hotel in Austin, Texas. So, I know there is a lot of opportunity to reach those people there, but I kind of not sure how to do that.
Look, Alexis, your question is quite big, and it's more on a kind of reflective side of type of question. So it will take me a lot of to understand what's your company do and how do we can actually think on creating content. Why don't we get that question and kind of develop it in our consultative call? My first answer very fast is good to have two. Have yours, again, is your brand persona. If you want to use yours to be the voice of your current industry and talk on a very broad, in a broad sense of the industry, the challenges of the industry, and talk about someone that is a subject matter expert, and then use your company just to target the specific individuals, creating a specific tailored content for those individuals. And you can also always use the content that you're producing for the company or profile and repost it or reuse it in your personal, because it doesn't matter. You are the CEO of your own company. So you can use it in your own, but use yours also to have a voice within the industry and lead the industry.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and that is going to wrap us for today. Eric, this was amazing, and you all will receive the slides and resources that were not covered yet in the email, in the follow-up email for today. There was another group assignment. Eric, if you want, they can tackle the assignment during the group consultation sessions, or you can just generate your own questions, participants, from the presentation that was shared today.
Sure. There is one slide that I put. I'm sure all of you heard about ChatGPT and how ChatGPT helped us to create content. Probably in the consultation, I can take you through some examples of how to create content very fast and very easy. It's not that you will have the content from ChatGPT. They will give you a lot of good inputs for you to curate your content. So don't think or assume that because you're using ChatGPT, the content is right there. You'll have to put the effort, you will have to put the knowledge, but it's a good technology to help us move faster in the content creation side of things. So I will, in the consultation, who is interested in ChatGPT, understanding how AI can help us leverage easier, faster content, I can ask me for it and I will take you through some examples. Again, sorry guys that I just went off without finish my presentation, but thank you for your participation. You are amazing.